Electoral Commission says that it's going to organize fresh elections in these 19 polling stations. But the biggest opposition political party, the NPP, disagrees. The party says, as far as they are concerned, there are only 3 outstanding polling stations. And so for the Electoral Commission to announce 19 polling stations is a bit of a surprise. They also go on to say that it is the court that can direct the Electoral Commission to rerun elections in these polling stations. The EC cannot on its own get up and say, I'm going to run elections or fresh elections in this polling station. The party addressed a press conference this week. The General Secretary of the party, Justin Kodia, did so and then raised a number of issues why the party disagrees on the EC's decision to organize or rerun elections in these 19 polling stations. The governing NDC is okay with this decision and they say that is the best way to go. Also this week, Musa Dankwa, you all know him, the famous Musa Dankwa and his Global Info Analytics came out with a new poll. The poll says that 70% of Ghanaians believe that John Dramani Mahama, president, and the NDC are taking Ghana in the right direction and the president is doing well. He didn't end there. He also did something on the upcoming NPP presidential primaries. If you're aware, the party says that on Saturday, 31st of January 2028, the party will organize elections to elect a new candidate who will lead the party going into the 2028 general election. According to the Global Info Analytics, 70% of NPP supporters believe that Dr. Bawumia should be given another opportunity to lead the party going into the 2028 general election. We'll talk about that issue as well. And also, the much awaited, much anticipated, and the much talk about 24-hour economy is here. President John Dramani Mahama this week launched this policy, which was a major campaign promise in the lead up to the 2024 general election. The president says it will be private sector driven. But then again, a lot of people have asked that will the private sector be given the needed support and the needed incentives to drive what the president describes as a game changer in Ghana's economic growth or economic development. So these are the 3 issues we are looking at this morning on The Big Issue, which is live from our studio here in Accra and also live on City 97.3 FM. Well, let's start with the New Patriotic Party or the Electoral Commission. It announced this week that it was going to organize fresh elections in some 19 polling stations. The party held a press conference addressed by the General Secretary of the party, Justin Kodia, who they say that they disagree with this decision of the Electoral Commission. My colleague Sami Akon was at this particular press conference by the Electoral Commission, by the New Patriotic Party. And let's hear what the General Secretary of the party said.
The New Patriotic Party is pushing back against the Electoral Commission's directive to rerun parliamentary elections in 19 polling stations in the Ablekuma North constituency on July 11, 2025. At a press conference held on July 3, NPP's General Secretary Justin Kodia described the EC's move as unwarranted and announced the party's decision to seek legal redress to restrain the commission.
We in the NPP shall stop at nothing in our quest to ensure that the powers that must be respected and upheld by the democratic right and sovereignty of the good people of Ablekuma North, as expressed by them on 7th of December 2024, is upheld. And therefore, we have caused our legal directorate to challenge the Electoral Commission in court. And today, we shall file in court to challenge the arbitrary, the capricious, the whimsical directive by the Electoral Commission in court. And it is our prayer that in spite of the intimidation and victimization of our judges, we will get a good judge who will be firm and speak for the truth. Commissioner of the Electoral Commission. In Parliament, no other place that Parliament, and he was on oath. He went to Parliament and confirmed what I've said earlier on, that indeed all this exercise were done in the presence of the presiding officers of the Electoral Commission. The question is, what has changed?
That's the General Secretary of the NPP, Justin Frimpong-Kodia, addressing the press conference this week. The party is unhappy about the decision of the Electoral Commission to organize fresh elections in some 19 polling stations in the Ablekuma North constituency here in the Greater Accra region. The party believes that it is only 3 outstanding polling stations, so where from the 19 polling stations the Electoral Commission announced. The party says not too long ago, the deputy chairperson of the commission, Dr. Bosman Asari, told Parliament that there are only 3 outstanding polling stations, and so they are disagreeing or in dispute or do not agree to the 19 polling stations as the Electoral Commission has announced that it's going to organize fresh election or rerun elections in these polling stations in the Ablekuma North constituency. So we'll start with this particular issue. And before I do that, let me tell you who my guests are this morning. Issa Fuseni, or Fuseni Issa. He's a member of the NPP and a former member of parliament for the Okankwe, is it Central Okankwe North, right?
Okankwe North.
Okankwe North constituency here in the Greater Accra region. He made another attempt, but it didn't work out. He has ambition of going back to parliament. he's one of my guests this morning. And also, the famous Musa Dankwa, the executive director of the Global Info Analyst, is also my guest this morning to discuss issues regarding to his research and then issues within the Ablekuma North constituency. And also, Franklin Kujo will join us on Zoom to also help us with this discussion, as well as Edem Agbana. He's a member of parliament for the Ketu North constituency in the Volta region. So these are my guests for this morning on this show, Big Issue, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra, and also live on City 97.3 FM. Isa, I'll start with you. Your party, your General Secretary addressed a press conference. You're unhappy with the rerun of elections in some 19 polling stations. Is it not best? So at least we bring a finality to what is holding back, the people of Ablekuma North from having a member of parliament. It's been 6 months without a representation, which a lot of people believe that is not good for our democracy.
Samuel, let me say a good morning to you, a good morning to my friend Musa Dankwa, and a very good morning to your viewers and your listeners. I trust that we are going to have a good day today. Ablekuma North and issues arising. I personally was very surprised on the 2nd of July when the EC came out with that directive that it was going to rerun elections in 19 polling stations. In fact, this matter didn't just start yesterday. It's been building up since December 7th when we went to the polls. And there's a chronology of events leading up to this decision. And if you follow what is transpired since December 7th, it's a very bizarre and a very surprising decision that the EC has arrived at. And for us as a party, as usual, the New Patriotic Party, we will not resort to any chaotic situations, but we will, like our General Secretary said, resort to the law courts to have our matter heard and for us to get the attention or the response that we expect. Sami, elections on the 7th of December 2024 have come and gone. We followed the run-up to the collation of the results through the days. Particularly, there were issues with certain constituencies. It lingered on until about January, close to the swearing-in date of 7th of January. Our party thought it wise to go to the law courts as the CIs or the constitution of the nation requires us to do. When you have any disagreements or you think that certain things have not been done well within the elections, you resort to the law courts, to the high courts, and that's exactly what we did. On the January 4th, the high court gave an order of mandamus, forcing the EC to go back to certain constituencies. There were 4 constituencies: Okankwe Central, Tema Central, Techima South, and Ablekuma North. So the courts ordered the EC to go back to these constituencies and complete the process of announcing the results, which is a collation. It is not the voting, but the collation bit, and that is what the court ordered the Electoral Commission to do. The Electoral Commission started the process of, in fact, for the 3 other constituencies, Tema Central, Kanakwe Central, and Tamale, Techiman South, it's been completed. But with Ablekuma North, every time there's an attempt, there is this degree that happens there, and it's been a problem. To the extent that at one point, some of the electoral materials there were actually burnt in clear, glaring public. I don't know how come these things happen, and then we can actually prevent these things from happening. I don't know why, but the EC itself is come out severally to give an update on what is happening within Ablekuma North and the processes leading up to the declaration of the parliamentary results. So for them to just jump on the 2nd of July to say contrary to what they have been saying all this while, in fact, it baffles me. I can understand.
But they said they had a meeting with the political parties, and that
yes,
was the
there was
agreement.
a meeting. There was a meeting. We had reps at the meeting. We had 2 reps at the meeting. But at the meeting, it was more or less, from what I gather, information from the EC to our reps at the party, at the meeting. There were 2 reps from our party at the meeting on the 1st of July. And more or less, it was information given to them. They didn't have the opportunity to...
It wasn't an opportunity to have
no.
a meeting.
Even if they had spoken,
agree.
the EC had come to the meeting with that
decision already.
With that decision, the EC had already taken a decision. And we can say a lot of things that happened within the media leading up to that decision. We know that there are 281 polling stations within the constituency. On the day of collation, at the time they left the collation, there were 62 outstanding polling stations. Further to the order of the court, on the 20, in fact, post 7th December 2024, the EC had gone back to Ablekuma North. Of the 62 outstanding, they resolved the challenges pertaining to 25 of the polling stations on the 21st of December 2024. Further to the court's order, on the 5th of January, the EC went back to the constituency in the presence of the agents of the parties and the presiding officers of the EC. They resolved 7 issues pertaining to 17 of the polling stations. They continued on the 6th of January and resolved another 13. On the 8th of January, they resolved another 4. So our understanding is that from the 21st of December, on the 5th of January, on the 6th of January, and the 8th of January, 59 out of the 62 polling stations had been resolved. And this resolution was not done just in the presence of the New Patriotic Party and the EC. The NDC were represented there, and they all signed off the resolution of the 59 polling stations, results of the 59 polling stations. So our understanding is that we had 3. And every communication between us and the EC, including one that we did on the 3rd of June 2025, we had written to the EC to tell us the way forward on how they were going to resolve the outstanding matters pertaining to the declaration of the parliamentary seats in Ablekuma North. The EC had written back to the New Patriotic Party saying that, so far as they were concerned, there were 3 outstanding polling stations, and so that is what we expected for them to resolve, for the declaration to happen. The Deputy Commissioner, Dr. Bosman, had gone to Parliament on the 19th of June. And when this matter came up, he had told our members of Parliament, or the Parliament of Ghana, or Ghanaians in general, that there were 3 outstanding polling stations to be resolved in Ablekuma North for them to be able to declare the results. And he had even gone further to say that there was no possibility of a rerun of those 3 polling 3 polling stations. All they needed, and from January to June, they have made us believe that all they needed is for the Ghana Police Service to provide them with the needed security to be able to go to the constituency and declare the results. So as a law-abiding, very dutiful party, that's what we have been expecting. Only to be called into a meeting on the 1st of July, and then we are surprised with this decision, which I can't comprehend. I can't reconcile the chronology of events that has happened since the 7th of December. I cannot reconcile. And many people in my party, and I believe that a lot of Ghanaians watching us this morning will be surprised at the Electoral Commission. What has happened? Why the sudden U-turn? That we cannot understand. But then again, where do we go? We go to the courts to seek to seek reprieve.
Your General Secretary has announced that you seek legal redress on this matter.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that is the option that we have. We unlike the NDC, we wouldn't go to the constituency with sticks and guns to fight. No, we don't think that is the right thing to do. So we are going to seek reprieve. You see, the most surprising thing of all of this is that, look, of the 3 outstanding polling station results to be declared, right? There's one particular polling station. The polling station code is C161205A. That is not even included in the 19 proposed to be rerun. Of the 3 outstanding polling stations that we do, the chronology of events that had led to us concluding that there are 3 polling stations that results that are yet to be declared, there is one of the 3 that is not even included in the 19 that the EC is proposing to go. That's why I get the code. I said C161205A.
Every police station has a name.
You see, police stations have names, but in a police station there can be 3 or 4 police. That's why we have the code A. It is more exact when you use the code. So I want to stick to the code. C161205A. That is a particular police station. It is not even included in the 19 that the EC is proposing to go back and rerun. So what the EC is doing, the thinking that went into the EC arriving at this conclusion, we cannot accept, we cannot comprehend, and I mean, if you look at what's been happening on the media space, we have seen the chairman of the NDC on TV. I watched him on TV saying that after they are done with the judiciary, the next stage will be dealing with the Electoral Commission.
But you can't run conclusions because Mr. Hold on.
No, I think that I'm entitled to that. I think that I am entitled to that. No. Sammy, I think that I am entitled to draw. No, Sammy, I disagree with you. I disagree with you. No, Sammy, I disagree with you.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
I disagree with you.
Listen to me. The father and national chairman of a governing party has made comments in respect of leadership changes at the EC. Does not make you conclude that because of those comments, the EC has just come to announce a rerun.
Sammy, you can decide not to draw those conclusions. But I think that I'm also entitled to draw relationships between what he, as an interested party in this matter, what he says on the media and what decision the EC takes. I think that it's also my right to draw any relationships that I need to do. Or what I think will make my matter.
But in drawing that relationship, it should be factual.
Yes,
you have the evidence to back it.
If you can tell me that, he has not said that, or that was not what he meant, you are entitled to that. But I am saying that.
He said that. We all heard it. We all saw it on TV.
He said that after they have finished dealing with the judiciary, the next point is the Electoral Commission. And in fact, we have been hearing this from the NDC. It didn't start in January. Since they were in opposition, they have been saying this severally. And a lot of the leading members of the NDC have said it. That look, when they come into power, they will reset the judiciary, they will reset the EC, and that's exactly what we are saying.
Okay.
If the leadership of the EC think that because of the what Asedun Ketia had said, or because they think that their job security is being in the balance, given what is happening to the Chief Justice. This is what is going to save them. So be it.
Thank you.
So be it. But you see, as a country,
your time is
we
up.
are built.
Your time is up. Let me have others also have a bite. We'll come back to this issue. So, have you done some work in that constituency already?
Yes, not already. We did one before the election.
Before the election?
Yes, we did a poll in Ablekuma North. It was in October 2024. We covered Ablekuma North, Ablekuma Central, Ablekuma West, Trobu, and Anyaso too. And if I look back at the results of those polls, we absolutely bang on it. It doesn't surprise me that Ablekuma North was still hanging. The NDC candidate was 50.0%.
Okay.
And NDC NPP 49.79%. There was a one vote between the two. So it doesn't surprise me that he's still hanging. As to what EC has announced, I don't know the evidence the EC had for them to arrive at that conclusion. My suspicion, and I stand to be corrected, is that they may have found some weaknesses in the evidence used in the remaining 16, that if they had to run the remaining 3, they would probably draw the other 16 into it. So to avoid legal wrangling going forward, probably they thought it wise they should bring all those polling stations that may have similar, not exactly the same, but similar issues. It is tough for NPP to accept that decision. I mean, if I was them, certainly I would not entertain that for a number of reasons, because already before the elections, you were on back foot and you struggled to have that margin that was declared. So for you to go back there again, to rerun, absolutely will not be a good timing for them. So if I was them, I will resist.
Yeah.
But as to whether the power to run the election runs in the parties, I think that's another matter. We know they've gone to court. We await the court to give some ruling and the guideline or the guidance as to what the EC should do. But I believe at the end of the day, we're not going to have a style situation in Ablekuma North. They'll have a resolution.
But there are many who have also said that the issue should have just run the entire constituency. Instead of just 19, just run fresh election in the entire constituency, which will help really resolve this matter than just this 19.
In fact, remember there were some letterbox that were burnt. So the primary source of evidence for some polling stations is gone. So if you have to scrutinize them, you won't have any evidence. I suspect that those extra 16 constituencies or polling stations may be part of those whose material got burnt.
Yeah.
And for every election, you must have the source or the base.
Of course.
And if the base is not there, then the whole election may be questioned. But I don't think it is fair to discount the results from other areas if they are still intact. We just fill the gap, and I believe that is fairer than running the entire constituency again.
There's a fear, that that constituency, it was a bit chaotic. Now 19 is going to be more chaotic. The IGP or the Elections Task Force have said that they will provide the needed security in 10B. But even with the other ones, we saw the chaotic nature. Are we going to have peace for this this 19?
We will have. You see, when it comes to such elections, it is not a national elections where the security forces are stretched across. Here, they will be focused and concentrated in that small patch. So it will not create chaos like on the day of elections, because all the the security forces can be deployed there to ensure peace. The question is, who is more happier for this to happen? Certainly, NDC is happy because they think they can smell blood and take the seat, and NPP doesn't want that to happen. And I think rightly so for them, because they don't want to lose the seat. But I think for the sake of democracy, we should have a solution to that issue.
Mr. Thank you very much. Let me go on Zoom and speak to Edem Agbana. He's the member of Parliament. I'll give you a chance to react to it. Let me go on Zoom and speak to Edem Agbana. He's a member of Parliament for the Ketu North constituency in the Volta region. He's joined us on Zoom to also share his thoughts on the issues we're discussing. Edem, good morning. Thank you very much for your time.
Good morning, and thank you for having me this morning.
Now, your friends in the NPP, they are not happy with the decision of the Electoral Commission to run fresh elections in some 19 polling stations in the Ablekuma North constituency. The EC believes that this will bring a finality to the pushback or the holdback in declaring a member of parliament for the area, for that person to come and join you in parliament. The NPP believes that there's only 3 polling stations. Why 19 as announced by the Electoral Commission? Your take on that?
Well, let me say good morning to my colleagues on the panel, Issa and my brother Musa Dankwa, and also to a good morning to all our cherished viewers and listeners across the world. Well, this morning, I am happy that our friends in the NPP all of a sudden have a reason to believe that the Electoral Commission currently is very, very incompetent. We in the NDC have always said that the posturing of the current Electoral Commission is very dangerous to our democracy. Why are we here today? Why are we talking about rerun, whether in 3 polling stations, in 19 polling stations, or even in an entire constituency? Why are we talking about rerun? We are here today because we have an Electoral Commission that since they were constituted prior to the 2020 elections have consistently demonstrated to us that they are not capable of handling elections in this country. In 2020, post the elections, Techiman South, South, and many other constituencies had similar issues because of the incompetence of the Electoral Commission. In 2024, Ablekuma North and some other constituencies, Tema West and what have you, because of the incompetence of the Electoral Commission. And so we have always stood by the fact that the current Electoral Commission that we have is dangerous for our democracy, and the country must take steps to correct what we have currently. Back to Ablekuma North. Elections were duly conducted across the country and in all polling stations in Ablekuma North. How difficult is it for the Electoral Commission to ensure that results were properly collated and declared? That to the extent that political parties became the primary source of information for the Electoral Commission, to the extent that the NPP, the party in power, that thought they had the Electoral Commission in their hands, in their pocket, and their control, the party that defended every action of the Electoral Commission, but for the fact that Ghanaians stood up, but for the fact that Ghanaians decided to vote massively against them.
Hello, Adam. Hello, Adam. I'm afraid Adam Agbana's internet is not our best of friends now, but he was making a point in respect of the announcement by the Electoral Commission that 19 polling stations in the Ablekuma North constituency is going to have fresh elections, or to find out or to more or less declare a member of parliament for the area. It's been 6 months and that constituency has been without a member of parliament. Is I wanted to react to a few things.
Musa had made a few points that I wanted to. You realize that a lot of the challenges we've had with elections in this country have happened during by-elections. It's a result, as a result of, you see, when we have national elections.
I'm sorry I have to do this, forgive me.
No problem.
Adam is back on Zoom. Let me hear his submission there, then I'll come back to you. Adam, you can continue with your submission.
So my point is that why should it even be difficult for Electoral Commission to privately, independently collate results and declare results in a constituency, such that the NPP had to provide them with pink sheets that they had, and that is what they wanted to rely on. But for the vigilance of the NDC, they would have rigged Ablekuma North in favor of the NPP. But we stood up. They did same in some other constituencies, Tema West and other places. They got away with some of them. My position is that, yes, they want us to rerun the election in 19 polling stations. We even wish it would have been done in more. But we will go into the elections without fear or favor. We have resumed campaign, and we will go every length to ensure that Irabena Albin, our candidate, is declared the winner, and she certainly will win the elections. But you see, we need to have a very beautiful conversation this morning about why all of a sudden the NPP thinks that the Electoral Commission that they defended with their blood, the Electoral Commission that they defended with every sudden, the commission is no more independent. All of a sudden, the commission is not free or fair. We are very principled and we are consistent with our stance. Our position is that the current Electoral Commission is incompetent, and Ablekuma North rerun of 19 polling stations is not what will appease us and make us feel or forget and forgive the Electoral Commission for all the sins that they have committed since they were constituted by Akufo-Addo. But it should surprise anyone that all of a sudden the NPP are the ones attacking their darling girl and her Electoral Commission that they used to defend only a few months ago. Look, as a country, to protect this fledgling democracy that we have, we need to ensure that our institutions are strong and the institutions are self-sustaining, that the institutions are such that they will not be amenable for any political manipulation. Now, the NPP is alleging that it is as though the Electoral Commission is being controlled by government. The question is it the case that because they were able to control the Electoral Commission as they constituted it, that is why they stood by the Electoral Commission decision they took in the past? Is it the case that all of a sudden, because they manipulated the Electoral Commission to do some things in their favor, that is why today, because they are not in power?
Hello, Adam, if you say the MPP manipulated, Adam, can you hear me? If you say the MPP manipulated the Electoral Commission, you have evidence. What do you mean by MPP manipulation? Like, how can a political party manipulate?
Your line is breaking, but I'm asking questions.
I'm asking that how can a political party manipulate an electoral commission, an electoral body? How is that possible? Hello, Adam, can you hear me?
If you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
My point is it the case that the NPP manipulated the Electoral Commission when they were in power, such that today, because they are not in power and they are not getting what they want, they are assuming that maybe we are also doing the same? Because there are many instances. We can talk about SAR. It is still a bloat on our conscience as a country that a few days before elections, Electoral Commission decides to engage in that blatant gerrymandering, and the NPP found nothing wrong with it. That the people of Central Kofi, the people of Akpafu, lots of the Electoral Commission's incompetence and deliberate attempt to make the NPP win the Hokwe seat in 2020. And so I am asking a question that, is it the case that they were pampered by the Jane Mensah-led Electoral Commission such that every decision they wanted, they got it in their favor? So today, because they are not getting a rerun in only 3 polling stations, but rerun is in 19 polling stations, they are assuming that the Electoral Commission is no more fair. We have maintained our position on the EC that the current Electoral Commission for us is not fit for purpose. There must be some changes in it. Look, it is important for us to build the institutions to be strong and truly independent. But the current composition we have, we cannot describe this Electoral Commission as truly independent. We welcome the decision to have the rerun in 19 polling stations. We will go into the elections with all our force, full force. We will campaign, enter every home in Ablekuma North, and ensure that we win that seat for the NDC. The NPP can decide to boycott it. It is up to them. The NPP can decide to go to court. They have that democratic right to do so. But whatever be the case, I am assuring you that the Ablekuma North seat will certainly come to the NDC because we work for it.
Okay, Adam, thank you very much. Just hold it there. I'll come back to you. Let me take some reaction from Issa. I've seen you writing quite a number of things. I'm sure he's eager to react to a few things that you said in there. Issa, you seem not to disagree with a few submissions made by Adam.
Oh, contrary to what he wants everybody to believe, at no point did the New Patriotic Party in government threaten the commissioner and the other commissioner, the electoral commissioner and other commissioners within the electoral commission. At no point did we make them feel that a decision was tied to their engagement or continuous engagement or stay at the commission. And so they had no reason, absolutely no reason at all to do things that will favor us. For us, we have believed that they have been a competent commission, and that even fits into the surprise and how we feel about this decision, given the chronology of events since elections. Musa had said something, and I don't know how come Adam is so sure that given 19 polling stations is going to go in their favor. Remember, Ablekuma North
anybody that goes into an election with confidence that they're going to win.
until 2024 elections, Ablekuma North was one of the constituencies that we didn't have to actually go and worry about. It was one of the ones that when you are counting constituencies in Greater Accra, you ticked off for the New Patriotic Party. So he shouldn't be too sure about that. Just that we don't think that the events leading to the decision is fair, and that's what we are fighting. And we will resort to the right quarters, unlike them where the regional organizer and the constituency organizer have been very instrumental in ensuring that the EC has not been able to declare the results of the coalition within the constituency. And before then, Musa had made some points on security and all of that. And I believe that a lot of the challenges that we have had in this country had come during by-elections and elections like that are isolated. In a sense that, you see, when we have a by-election, there's a lot of concentration on one constituency. And because of the tensions, easily any little fire ignites some. So it is not a case of the police now being more capable to do 19. The police have told us so. Over time, since January 8th, that the EC had said that we are waiting for the police to give us the security so we can go and complete the coalition. The police had stayed away. It even resulted in our members of parliament going to the police headquarters and giving the IGP a petition. It came to naught. And this is the same police service that have been unable to provide security for the coalition of 3 polling stations. How are they going to manage with 19? For 3 polling stations, the Ghana Police Service failed to provide the needed security to enable the Electoral Commission to declare the results of 3 polling stations. How sure are we that they can do that for 19 polling stations and do it fairly? Then again, I don't think any of the constitutional instruments that governs the organization of elections, or even the Constitution, gives the Electoral Commission the mandate to call for a rerun. The Electoral Commission has no such mandate. It's only a court. It's only a court that can call for a rerun of election.
Maybe so why is the EC? Maybe they've gone to court.
I mean, going to court is not something that you can do in your bedroom without somebody knowing. Once a document goes to the court, it becomes a public document. And so if the EC had gone to court, we would have been privy to it. And they would have put that in the release that they brought out on July 1. They would have released that. And so it does not lie in the powers of the EC to call for a rerun without resorting to the courts. And that is why we are going, that's also one of the reasons why we are going to the court. So, I mean, the NDC can feel however they want to feel. That's fair. But we think that we are going to court to seek reprieve on this decision. We don't think it's fair. We don't think that the chronology of events that led to the EC arriving at this decision is fair. And we will resort to the right quarters. We won't go there to be disruptive or chaotic. And for the NDC to think that we will probably boycott. No, it is not like us. I mean, since '92, since our experience, we will not boycott these elections. We will seek for a reprieve at every quarters. If this matter has to go to the Supreme, so be it.
Thank you very much. Musa, you want to have a final bite on this matter?
No, I don't want to be into political arguments. For us, we speak with data. But I think it's going to be tough for them to retain the seat if it's rerun. So if I was in their shoes, I would go to heaven and hell to prevent that from happening.
So, Adam, let me come to you and have your final bite on the Ablekuma North issue. The NPP, still maintains that there was no agreement between the Electoral Commission and the political parties, and that even the statement that the Electoral Commission issued that there was a meeting with the political parties and this particular agreement was decided upon. That wasn't the case. According to Issa, it was just an announcement to the political parties when they came in. Adam, can you hear me? I'm afraid Adam cannot hear me. You're still watching The Big Issue, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra, and it's live on the City 97.3 FM. My name is Samiri Afe, sitting in for regular host Selom Adonu. We are bringing to you your favorite weekend news analysis program. We're discussing the Ablekuma North constituency, where the Electoral Commission has announced that it's going to organize fresh elections in some 19 polling stations in that constituency. If you're aware, for the past 6 months, the people in that area have been without a member of parliament, and many people have drawn comparison that if care is not taken, we may have a similar situation as it happened in the South region in the 2020 election, where they never had a member of parliament for 4 years. And they believe that if proper measures are not put in place, a similar thing may happen to the people of Ablekuma North here in the Greater Accra. But then the Electoral Commission believes that rerunning, a rerun of 19 polling stations in that constituency will bring to finality the controversy as to who becomes the member of parliament for that constituency. I'll try and go back to Zoom and see if Adam Agbana is still on, so we can get his final bite on this Ablekuma North issue. Adam, if you can hear me, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm saying that the NPP is still of the view that when they went to the meeting with the Electoral Commission, contrary to what the EC statement, there wasn't any meeting. It was just an announcement by the Electoral Commission just to the political parties that this is the decision we've taken and this was going to happen. There was no proper meeting to deliberate on the matter and reach a decision.
Well, I cannot speak for the Jane Mensah-led Electoral Commission, and I cannot defend whether or not indeed they had a meeting. But between the NPP and the Electoral Commission, though I still believe that the Electoral Commission currently is incompetent and what have you, I think I choose to trust the Electoral Commission more on this issue because the NDC, my election directors, have informed us that indeed there was an engagement with all the political parties, even though we disagreed with the Electoral Commission, the 19 polling stations rerun, we welcome it, and we are ready to go into the elections because we won Ablekuma North dearly. And Issa makes the point, my brother, Honorable Issa makes the point that Ablekuma North has always been NPP, so I should not be too sure. But in the last election, we saw how constituencies that used to be traditional NPP constituencies went for the NDC because of their terrible governance, because of how they failed the people, because of their wicked and insensitive governance. There are many seats that for the first time the NDC has won. Even Okankwe South, very close to them, the NDC has won it. Even Adansi Asokwa, the NDC won it. Even Domikwa Benya, the NDC won it. So if NDC can win Domikwa Benya, if NDC could snatch Okankwe South and many of those seats from them, why does it think that Ablekuma North, which when you even look at the demography of the place, even favors us more? So we won many of their seats. We took Ayawa so West gone from them, Domikwa, and all these others. And so this thinking that it is their seat, to tell them the NPP has no traditional seat any longer because of the terrible 8 years governance that they serve the good people of Ghana. Going forward, on the issue of Ablekuma North, the NPP is failing to tell us how they provided pink sheets to the EC, which differs from the pink sheets of all the other political parties. And they expected the EC to use their pink sheets. If Issa is able to tell us
Hello, Adam. I'm afraid the internet is not our best of friends.
and why it is different primarily.
I'm afraid the internet is not our best of friends, this morning. That's Adam's final take on the Ablekuma North issue, the Electoral Commission's decision to run fresh elections in 19 polling stations in that constituency. You want to have a final bite?
Yeah, but it's very obvious that all the coalition that has been done, even the subsequent ones in January, there had been the NDC agents, the NPP agents have been there, the presiding officers are there. It's true, the NDC went behind everybody and bent the electoral materials such that we don't have the primary source of data. But even in the absence of primary source of data, I'm sure Musa sitting here today can give me very accurate results of the elections in 2024 or even the elections before that. Electronic results, and there's nothing wrong with filling in the missing gaps when all parties can attest to the fact that these were the actual results that happened. As to whether the pink sheets we had is different from what they have. They say they don't have any primary documents. And we are saying that we have electronic copies that can be verified by the presiding officers who work for the EC, by the agents that work for the NDC, and by the agents that work for the NPP. And if everybody agrees that on the day of elections, after counting at the polling station, you have to paste a copy of the results there. And it's there for the whole public to be able to verify. And so if after the elections, I'm able to produce that document in electronic form, remember, they are the same people who went behind everybody and bent the primary source of the data. So what is he talking about?
Okay, Isa, thank you. So this final bite on the Ablekuma North controversy. So we'll move on to our next topic. The Global Info Analytics, led by Musa Dankwa, who is here with us in the studio, has done some work. It says that 70% of Ghanaians believe that the Mahama administration is heading the country in the right direction, and their approval ratings are still high. They believe that John Dramani Mahama, president and the NDC, are performing well. as far as the governance of this country is concerned. Aside that, the poll also suggests that 70% of NPP supporters still believe that Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, the party's presidential candidate in the 2024 general election, the former vice president, should be given another chance to lead the NPP going into the 2028 general election. Musa is here with us to give us more details on this latest, poll that he and his organization have embarked upon, and the conclusion in this whole poll. Musa, thank you very much. Between which period and which period did you run this new survey?
This is the poll covering the April to June 90-day period.
Okay.
But the actual data work or field work started sometime towards the end of May. We did online telephone, but the field face-to-face survey was done from the 19th of June to 26th or so of June.
So between this period,
yes.
And what's the conclusion?
First, we interviewed about 10,500 voters across the country. The largest we've done in our history when it comes to public opinion poll, the periodic polls. Now, 70% of Ghanaian voters believe the country is now headed in the right direction. Only 20% are saying it's wrong direction. And
if you say Ghanaian voters, you mean those who voted in the last election?
No, everybody.
Or qualified Ghanaian voters?
Qualified Ghanaian voters.
Okay.
Ghanaian voters. And 10% didn't have an opinion. Now, if you compare this data to the April data, you could see 8%